So if you're not feeling like you're living your purpose, you're feeling a little lost, maybe your feet are froze in life and you have some fear in movement forward because you don't know where you're moving forward to, this video is for you. So I'm an intuitive health medium and I'm a spiritual guidance coach, a Reiki master teacher. I teach classes, I do all things spiritual. And it's very common for us to not feel or to feel like we're not in our purpose, right? Doesn't even matter what we're doing currently in this life, we feel lost and like we're not living in our purpose, and we have this sense of like our feet are frozen in this very deeply rooted fear of moving forward and fear of failure. And I want to share with you my thoughts on what a life purpose actually is. Through a time of about 15 years, seriously, I went through a series of career changes. I went through a series of very significant suffering, 2 divorces, career changes, promotions. I had so much suffering, but I also had so many blessings. And I was learning through those times, those experiences, that when I was suffering, it was a blessing because I was being pushed away from something that I wasn't meant to have, even though I wanted it and I was working my ass off to get it. My guides were like, girl, and they'd take it from me. It was like, wait a minute, I wanted that. And they're like, that's not for you, keep going. And it was a very difficult time because I was having to make peace in the suffering so that I could enjoy what was coming to me when it came to me. I had to allow it by not forcing myself to do things I wasn't supposed to do, and it took forever. So here's the thing though, when I started out at college, I'm going to go all the way back to when I was at Michigan State University. I was majoring in deaf education, special ed. My dream was to be a world-renowned sign language interpreter and travel the world and be an interpreter. But here's the thing, my dream was taken from me in the time it took to answer the phone. I got a phone call from my financial aid officer telling me that my loans had been canceled because my credit could no longer support the amount of the loans that I needed to borrow to finish off the semester. I found out 2 years later when I was now engaged to my now ex-husband, my boy's dad. We were buying our first home together, and I found out that I had over $12,000 in credit card debt on my credit that wasn't mine. My credit had been stolen back at the time when I had to drop out of college. And I also found out later that it was my mom. She was the one who stole my credit and took my dream. It was a very tough lesson in learning that we don't have control over our lives. We don't. That's not a reality. What we do have control over is how we live our lives, how we think, how we speak, how we allow things to come into our lives based on how we react. That's what we have control over. We only can control ourselves. But it doesn't mean that all those years of all those different jobs I tried was time wasted. It's not. It's knowledge gained. Because in every single one of those experiences, whether I was suffering and struggling or doing well and succeeding, I was learning. And I was learning. I took those times as opportunities to learn about myself and learn about my life. And learn what did not work so that I didn't repeat it moving forward, and I could still move forward. Because when you repeat what doesn't work, you're no longer moving forward, you're cycling and you're going in circles. So when you want to find your purpose, don't repeat things that don't work, because that's what takes away your momentum in moving forward. So don't beat yourself up if you feel like you're not in your life purpose. Step back and look at what you're repeating and what is not working, and that's the stuff you change. But just for fun, I'm going to give you a list of the things that I've done and all the experiences that I had to go through to get to where I am now. So here we go. I started out wanting to be a sign language interpreter, and that was taken from me through my identity being stolen. I then did nails for 2 years. I was a nail tech. I went to school as a nail tech. That didn't work out. I did not like it at all. I loved my friends that I made, but I did not like being a nail tech. I then started out in Mary Kay. I started my business as a Mary Kay consultant. I had a company car. I had a whole team. I was making decent money, and my goal with doing Mary Kay was to make enough money to support my kids as a single mom so I could divorce my husband, who's now an ex-husband. But that didn't work. I didn't make enough money in Mary Kay. So then I went to Bath & Body Works. I worked retail in Bath & Body Works, making $11 an hour, divorced my husband, and stayed in retail for another year, and then ended up going into banking, and I worked as a bank teller, making $45 an hour, raising my kids as a single mom. Now, I'll tell you, when I was in banking, I thought for sure that was my purpose. I promoted myself 3 times in that first year of banking because I really felt like I had found my purpose. Well, after 7 years in banking and moving up to assistant bank manager, I realized I was miserable, and a desk job in corporate America was not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And over the next 2 years, I shifted from as being an assistant bank manager to what I do now. But the thing is, all those jobs I had, they're not failures. I succeeded in learning something, and it was something that had to happen to put me where I'm at now. So if you really are in a space where you feel like you're not living your purpose, just know that you are. But if you feel like you're not moving forward, or you really feel like trapped, like your feet are frozen in life, step back and look at behaviors that you're repeating that don't work. What are you saying to yourself every day? What are you thinking every day? Because the positivity that you can feed yourself, that's your superpower. It helps you see things in a different light, and it helps you see the doorway that you need to walk through to get out of that trapped feeling. So step back and hit the reset button and stop repeating behaviors that don't work for you, and start speaking and thinking positivity out into the universe, because that's what comes back to you. So drop words like I need, I want. Those are lack words. You're making space for it. It's coming to you already. You're ready to receive. Those are your power phrases. I'm making space for it. I'm ready to receive. I'm moving forward. Give yourself power. Give yourself grace. Give yourself love, and you'll realize your life purpose. It's happening now. And as you move forward, it's just going to get better and better.